Each year, the Better Business Bureau recognizes the outstanding organizations that set the bar for operating with ethics and integrity. Fox 12's Bree Eggers introduces us to one of the recipients of this year's award, the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
We enter their lives as subtly as we can, while still trying to make their child's wish remarkable.
Having your child diagnosed with a life-threatening illness is devastating. Make-A-Wish Idaho works hard to provide lasting, wonderful memories for families to hold on to and makes kids' wishes come true.
Last year we granted 78, and this year we are on target for between 90 and 100.
With all the kids who get their treasured wishes, the families know it's all coming from people they can trust.
Sometimes we have to step back and think about what is the best response and how to best handle it so that there's a win-win and that we can do the best thing for everybody concerned.
It's a big job, and these team members know they couldn't do it alone.
We do grant a wish of a child, but it's the whole community that comes together.
They call it the Make-A-Wish magic, the remarkable connections that wishes make.
And he said, "Oh, you granted my daughter a wish 7 years ago. I'll do it to completely donate my time."
It's not only the wishes they grant, but the fundraisers they hold that bring a community together. This year was the first annual Ultimate Urban Challenge, which raised more than $70,000. And teams had a great time being part of something so huge that helps so many.
I think that's the beauty and the magic of a wish. It just brings everybody together.
It validates that we're doing a good job and that people can recognize and trust that what we're doing and the work that we do is important not only for us and for the Wish kids, but it's important for our community and our state.
In Boise, Bree Eggers, Fox 12 News.
Be sure to join us here each Saturday. Throughout the rest of the month, we'll be sharing more stories of great businesses right here on Business at its Best. Coming up next, we take on the challenge facing one local school, how they are turning that into an opportunity. More when Business at its Best returns.
This segment on Business at its Best is brought to you by Advantage Walking Chiropractic in Boise. The leading health professionals at Advantage Walking Chiropractic are dedicated to helping you achieve your wellness objectives.
You know, there's no better way to learn the ropes of running a business than to talk to the people who have been there. Business Solutions is just that. We bring in a company that briefly shares a challenge so we can focus on the opportunity out of that challenge. Bob Trewartha with Broadview College joins me, and Dan Long of the Sandbox Group. Dan, Bob, thank you so much for being with us.
An honor, appreciate it.
So Broadview, give us a brief background of the school and what you're doing here in the Treasure Valley.
Sure. Broadview University is basically a type of a university that really focuses on making sure that students get the skills necessary to find immediate employment in whatever field that they want to go into. So we really do try to focus on what does the local economy need, what types of employees are employers looking for, and then focusing on developing the skills so they can jump right into employment.
And how long have you been in Southern Idaho?
Well, we're actually opening January 17th.
January, so you're brand new.
We've been here about a year, building relationships and talking to employers and working with the Boise Chamber and Meridian Chamber and working with those folks in Nampa. Really, the first class will be January 17th.
But they're not brand new to education.
No.
1877 is when this organization started, the parent company. And he was telling me that they have 4 schools in the Salt Lake area.
Absolutely.
So they're just starting to move over to Idaho and hopefully build more in Idaho.
So let's talk about the challenge.
You bet. When we had a conversation yesterday, you talked about, you said your focus is about what does an employer need, and employers need less now. So what they're really challenged with is making sure that these students that they do bring in can meet a very narrow, defined focus of what these employees.
Absolutely.
And one of the questions I thought was interesting, that you actually go out and visit with businesses and just say, one of the questions, and it's a great question every business should ask their customer is, what do you want to see in a graduate? What is the end product that we can bring to you? And then they go back and tailor their product to that. Every business should do that.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that we don't look at education and that process and the students and what they do necessarily as a product, but at the same time, you want to ask who your ultimate end user is going to be, which will be the employer. What do you want? What would be the perfect employee? What can we do to help create the skills within that person to be the most productive and best quality employee? That makes our people a lot more valuable to employers, and ultimately is going to make success happen both for the student and for the school itself. So.
Now, one of the interesting things that folks at home might not realize is that a school like Broadview is literally graded, or you achieve your accreditation based on the number of students who you put into employment after they finish. I mean, that's one of the measures of success for the school. So when you talk about having a good relationship with local employers, that's really where the proverbial rubber hits the road.
You know, one of the things, and I would hope that everybody that is going into higher education, is looking to go to a college, should look into what is that college going to help provide for them, and what is your ultimate goal as a student. Our accreditation does require that we meet certain outcomes, and as a result, we need to obviously strive to meet those criteria. And really, by doing a good job of building relationships with employers, by creating those opportunities for our students to get those skills that ultimately lead to employment, is going to naturally take us to those outcomes. We're going to be able to achieve those by virtue of doing a good job of building relationships here in the Treasure Valley.
And one of the things that he talked about is that because of the small class size, this is not a place to hang out or to hide out, right? There's no 300 people in a lecture hall. This is, you're going to know your teachers, they're going to know you very well. So this is not a place to hide out. This is a place to come in, focus on what you want to do, and get the education for it. And the good news is we have an employer that's coming to town that's going to hire 100 people locally.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So 100 openings. Now, are those all filled now?
Well, this will be during the course of probably the next year and a half.
Okay.
We've got about 20, 25 people on staff right now, and as the school grows, there'll be more of a necessity to bring in additional people. A lot of adjunct instructors, a lot of folks that maybe work part-time, but probably about 100 employees when we're at a mature level.
Nice.
So. Tell us about the student that you're looking for.
Well, our average age has generally been about 27. It's somebody who's actually gone to school before, and for whatever life situation has probably gone, again, maybe to some school, but then gone into the workplace, has a family, is living life like any adult would, and then has to come back and get further education, whether they're changing jobs or they're looking to advance in their organization, that type of a thing. It's not the kind of school, again, as we were talking before, where there's going to be 300 students. Our average class size is about 12. Oh, so you can't hide in a class of 12. No. One of the things that employers tell us all the time is that communication skills, professionalism, working well with others, dependability. And you may not necessarily see that on a syllabi, but at the same time, it is something we incorporate into every classroom. So you're going to wind up having to interact with your fellow students, with the instructor. A lot of our exercises require that they teach back to the class. So it really creates a communication skill process that I think is very valuable to employers.
A number of opportunities that you've just presented us out of the challenge of a tough job market. So thank you so much for that. Broadview University, folks want to find you, they can find you online?
BroadviewUniversity.edu.
Okay, very good. Bob Trewartha and Dan Long, Broadview University, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Dan with the Sandbox Group. And when we come back after the break, 3 challenges, the 3 learning opportunities that'll set your business apart, coming up.